Hi, and welcome to the Blood Podcast Birth, Love, Experience, and Death. I'm your host, Stephanie Bushak,
And I'm your co-host, Matt Bushak.
and today we are going to give kind of an outline of our childhoods, what it was like growing up, Matt, and what it was like growing up, Steph.
And this won't be the traumatic version.
No, we'll give the basic
It'll be
version.
the fun version.
Yeah,
So I was born before you, so maybe I should go first.
sure.
Okay, so I was born back in 1971 in Ogden, Utah. And
Of all places.
yep. And
But
yes.
your family's not Mormon, right?
No. Good point. Thank you, audience. Just
Yeah,
remember that.
I wouldn't want people to assume that, because you were born in Utah, you're
Yeah.
automatically a Mormon.
Yeah, it's not like a country thing. Like if you're born in Canada and you're not a Canadian, you're a Canadian, If you're born in the U.S., you're an American. It's,
Yeah.
if you're born in Utah, that doesn't mean you're a Mormon. It's not the same.
Right,
It
right,
seems like the same thing.
right. Yes.
Okay, so we moved from there soon after I was born. My grandparents on both sides stayed there. We moved to Wyoming, where my sister was born, and one of my first memories is getting snowed in and having my dad having to dig out around a window so he could get outside and dig out the door.
Oh, God.
So we could open
Do
the
a
door.
window first. Now tell me, why did you guys live in Wyoming?
So my dad was a Kmart manager, and promotions for Kmart managers meant getting better and bigger stores. And so about every 2 to 5 years, we would move to a whole new place.
Moving a lot.
Yes,
Yes.
we both moved a lot. I think.
Yes, we did.
Both Stephanie and I. By the time, let's see, we went to Wyoming, and then Montana, and then Washington. And my first memories really are Washington. So we jumped around a lot.
Yeah.
You know.
I was born in Fort Worth, Texas.
Fort Worth.
Fort Worth, like rodeo capital of Texas.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have the stockyards out there. And I was born in like one of the oldest hospitals in Texas.
Yeah, I've been in it.
Yeah, that's still standing, I believe. It's John Peter Smith Hospital. And I grew up in Arlington, which is really close to Fort Worth.
Arlington, Texas.
My mom and dad actually got divorced when I was like 6 months old.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they had a shotgun wedding because they were pregnant with me. Well, she was. My dad wasn't.
And then your dad's like, fuck it, I don't like you.
Yeah, okay. This will be another podcast talking about my dad. But yeah, he was not very nice to my mother and they ended up getting a divorce. And yeah, so I was mostly raised by a single mom.
As an only child.
And as an only child that had a couple of marriages sprinkled in between and eventually got a sister when I was 8. So, yeah.
So I got I had an older brother, Ed, who was born in Utah as well. He's about 2.5 years older than me, and then about 2.5 years younger than me is my sister, Jennifer.
Mm-hmm.
She was on the podcast.
Yes.
Our first guest, as a matter of fact.
Yes.
And
a lovely guest she was.
She was. That was a lot of fun.
Yes. I love your sister.
But
the rest of your family, no, I'm joking. It's a joke.
We were in Kirkland, Washington for a while. And did I tell about the story about the hose through the window?
Yes, you already told that story.
I remember that. I remember the big wheel. Remember those plastic
big
wheels? And
big wheels were cool. I didn't have one.
We'd go down the hill, and they had the ones with the brake on them, and we'd hit that brake and spin that thing out, dude. It was so awesome.
My cool ones were the sit and spin.
Mm-hmm.
I had a sit and spin.
Yeah.
Made myself just as dizzy as could be on that thing.
It was hard to get dizzy when we were kids.
Yes.
Like you could do that all day long.
Yes. Yes. Forever and ever and ever and ever and never get sick. Now, if I try to do even like 2 rotations on one of those things.
Give me some Dramamine.
Exactly. I remember my first tricycle now. That was pretty awesome.
Oh, yeah?
Yes.
That's cool.
let's see. I remember being in a car accident when I was about 2 because I have a big scar on my forehead to prove it.
Mm-hmm.
And I can remember, even though I was so young, being told about it, and how they had to do skull surgery on me.
If they have to put any of your brain back in,
Probably.
I hope they got.
I,
It's not a got it all.
yeah, they might have missed some.
Yeah,
It's hard to tell. Yeah. But I did get the what's it called? Is it trepidation, where they put a hole in your skulls so that you have your third eye and shit. So I have kind of an opening in my skull. So
I have a third eye.
I'm a little bit more openly connected to my surroundings than other people because of that.
Third eye.
I remember bouncing around a lot between relatives.
Hey,
and moving a bunch.
Do you remember those merry-go-rounds? Those metal ones?
Oh, God. Yeah,
My kids would spin the shit out of that thing.
I got stuck underneath one of those, and I ended up with a scar on my chin because of it.
That's why they don't have them in these. Yeah. Damn, they were fun, but they were scary as shit.
I lived in Iowa for a short period of time growing up, and it gets really, really icy, snowy and icy out there. And playing on the playground, I was pushing one of those merry-go-rounds and lost my grip and went underneath the thing and smashed myself on the chin really good, and then just laid there flat because I was scared to death, screaming.
So it wasn't as fun being underneath.
No. As a matter of fact, it was a really, really long time before I'd get on one of those things again.
Yeah. Well,
it was a little traumatic.
Think about this. Even teeter-totters. I mean, somebody was going to fall. That you just can't do teeter-totters without somebody falling. And that's why they don't have those anymore either.
You could get it real hard in the crotch with a teeter-totter too.
Back. That's why we all have compressed discs.
Yeah, probably.
Older siblings.
Throw the older siblings under the bus there.
That was mine.
How can I squeeze my older siblings?
Ed loved me so much. He just couldn't quit fucking with me.
Yeah.
But I love you, bro.
Yeah. I remember one time.
You made me a stronger man.
I don't know. Did I mention the time that I was out at Trader's Village with my sister? I don't think I talked about that one in the podcast. Okay.
This is late breaking news.
We spent a ton of time out at a place called Trader's Village is it in Arlington or Mansfield?
Just say Arlington.
Like in the Arlington area. And what it is basically, or what it was at the time, was a giant flea market, like the biggest flea market ever. And we would go out there kind of regularly because it was free entertainment. And I was out there one time with my mom and my stepdad and my little sister. And remember, she's 8 years younger than me, and I was probably about 14 at the time. So that probably made her about 6.
Good math.
Thank you. I did that on the fly, aren't you?
Man, that is.
And there was one of the booths that was out there had one of those old-fashioned water pumps.
Yeah.
And I was basically I was mother's little helper when it came to my sister. She went, I tried to take her everywhere with me.
Yeah.
And sometimes had to take her places with me when I didn't want to, but I love her. And
yeah.
For the most part, I was happy to, pretend like she was my kid and take her around with me. But we were basically told to get lost and go have fun and meet us back over at this place when you're done. And
they didn't have cell phones or anything back
then? No. They were just like, I take care of your sister. Get out of here. Drink water while you're out.
Yeah.
Find a hose somewhere while you're out there.
Find a hoe?
Yeah. And so anyways, there was one of those old-fashioned water pumps, and I was drawn to it. It was like, oh, this is really cool looking. And I walked over and I went and pulled it up and got my sister right. And it left a big gash. I think she ended up scarred.
Did she bleed?
I think she ended up scarred. Oh, yeah. I think she ended up, she's probably still has a scar to this day. And I felt horrible. And so I'm like, running with my 6-year-old sister through Traders Village looking for my mom and my stepdad. And they weren't too far away. I had a general idea of where they were, and got to them and was like, "I'm so sorry, I broke her." And they had the first aid people come out that worked out there, and
I didn't know that.
My stepdad, my sister Jennifer, her dad was so pissed off at me.
Oh, I bet.
And in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, I'm only 14. Maybe you shouldn't have sent me out by myself with my little 6-year-old sister.
I don't know how to do the pump.
Yeah.
I don't know how to look around.
Yeah, well, you know.
Yeah, I mean, well, yeah, if you're 14, you usually expected to look around.
Yeah, I wouldn't expect somebody to be standing right there. But apparently
hilarious.
a little 6-year-old doesn't realize that the pump's about to come up in their face. And
That's hilarious. That is so fucking funny, dude. I mean, yeah.
But yeah, that was a little trauma that I caused.
Damn. I don't think I can top that.
No. So let's kind of talk about how much we both had to move around when we were kids. So you moved around a lot because Dad was a Kmart manager at every
Blue Light Special.
Yeah. And hey, I'll tell you what, when I was growing up, we lived for the Blue Light Special. Not everybody was Kmart material, but me and my family, we were Kmart people.
Well, so were we, because my dad was a manager.
Yes. Yes.
I even got a job there in high school.
Yes. And those icy drinks kick ass.
Dude, and the subs, dude. Their subs?
Yeah, their subs are really rocking too. And they used to have popcorn and stuff too.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was like the highlight of going to Kmart, was finding something on the Blue Light Special shelf.
Yeah.
And going and get like an icy and some popcorn.
You want to make America great again? Bring back the fucking Blue Light Special.
Fuck yeah. Fuck.
Amen.
I agree.
All right.
So you moved to Wyoming.
And then about
to Washington.
2 years. Then, no, Montana.
Montana, that's right. I forgot you lived there.
And then Washington.
Mm-hmm.
And in Washington, my parents split up, and my brother Ed and I lived with my dad, and Jen lived with my mom.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe a year after, I got a funny story to tell about when I lived there, though. So my Aunt Nancy was watching me for whatever reason. My parents were out.
Yeah.
And I decided to just go on a little walkabout. And so I decided to go on a walkabout. And mind you, I'm probably 6 or 7 at this time.
Gosh. So you're about the age of my poor sister when she got her face smashed.
Yeah, except for I knew how to move. So anyways.
She was a baby.
So I go to the store, and I'm looking at, I have like so much money in my pocket. And I'm looking at numbers.
So much, huh?
Yes, like a certain amount.
Bills, y'all. Dollar bills.
That's probably what it was.
25 cents, y'all. $25
$2 bills. And so I'm looking at the numbers on the tickets.
Uh-huh.
And I go up there to buy this stuff, and she's like, it's $15 or whatever. And I'm like, oh, I thought it was this much. And she goes, no, this is the part you need to look at. You can't look at these parts. And then she pointed me to like the cheapy toys thing.
Yeah.
And she goes, there's stuff down there you can get. And so I got stuff because I wanted to get presents for my family.
Aww.
And then I walked to the library.
Yeah.
And I remember walking under those huge electrical towers.
Oh,
like
wow.
the big old steel ones.
Yeah.
Like 7-year-old walking out. And I go to the library. Apparently it was...
We were very feral when we were little.
Apparently it was Sunday because the library was closed.
Oh,
so I couldn't go there.
Darn it.
And so I got back, and Aunt Nancy was freaking the fuck out, because I just wandered off. But I was fine. Yeah. And everything worked out great.
Yeah. We're a generation of figure it out kind of people.
Yep. Our parents let us kind of raise ourselves a little bit. And it made us stronger.
Yeah. I was going to say I think it had its pros and its cons.
Yeah.
Its cons were like a little more loneliness, probably getting into things that you shouldn't have been getting into.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the pros were we figured out how to do a lot of shit on our own because we didn't have anybody there,
We found a new way to
holding
do
our
it.
hand and yeah.
And so, okay, so moving around. So
Yeah.
Montana, Washington. So about a year later, we moved with Dad to Salem, Oregon.
Oh, right.
And I think I was in Salem for 3 years
Okay.
through second grade.
Okay.
And then we moved to Athens, Texas.
The Athens, Texas.
We talked about the black-eyed capital of the world.
The black-eyed pea capital of the world. Don't give people the wrong impression.
The black eye, yeah. Go there and get a black eye.
I'm like, something is missing from this sentence. We're going to play a little game.
Gosh, and I remember staying at the La Quinta Inn with my grandma, swimming in the pool while we were, waiting to buy a house.
Yeah.
And we bought a house. I remember the kid across the street beat me up for no reason.
Yeah.
He just jumped me and
I had a
started
few
beating me up.
weird altercations.
That was my third grade. I also found out in Texas, or at least in Athens, when you get in trouble, they have this thing called they give you these things called licks.
Yes.
Swats.
Yes.
And they have this big paddle
with holes in it so it can catch more wind.
And they beat your ass with it. And so like one day.
Okay, that's one part of our childhood I do not like. The fact that people could beat on us willy-nilly just because they were grown-ups.
There was one day that I went in the building during recess, and you weren't allowed to do that. But
right.
I get my tennis ball to play wall ball with my friends. And another teacher caught me, not even my teacher, but another teacher caught me, and she called me in her classroom, and she gave me about 10 fucking swats, dude.
That's messed up.
Yes. And so, yeah, I learned... real quickly what the punishment was there.
Yeah.
I wasn't there very long, just for a year.
Yeah.
Then we moved to College Station.
Yeah.
And spent 4 years in College Station through 4th through 7th grade.
Yeah. Then, and that's where your dad met your stepmom, wasn't it? Or
yeah. That's okay. Yep. That's where they met and they got married.
Yeah.
That was a fun 4 years for me. I hung out with kids that smoked. And I smoked too.
Yeah.
We'd go swim in this.
The wonder years.
And we'd find swimming holes in this creek that were like a mile downstream just because we wander and man, we tried a lot of things, not bad stuff. I remember I was really into Star Wars.
Was bad, but we'll say mostly not bad stuff.
I was really into Star Wars figures and shit.
Oh yeah.
And so was my friend Steven.
Oh cool.
So hi Steven.
Yeah, that's cool stuff.
Yeah. And yeah, that's real cool stuff.
Hey, I liked Star Wars back then too. Now I wasn't really into the action figures, but if I had a friend that had that stuff, I'd look it over.
You didn't have fake or mock battles with the figures.
No. Well, I had mock fashion shows with my Barbies.
Yeah. And so anyways, the years in College Station were pretty good. I'm just going to get the end and you can do yours and then we can talk.
Oh, okay.
And then when I was going from 7th to 8th grade, we moved to Arlington. And I lived in I want to say the southwest part of Arlington.
I don't.
No, northwest.
Yeah.
Northwest part of Arlington. And which was Interlochen, which was kind of the rich part of town. And we were not the rich.
Y'all were like the poorest people in the richest part of town, weren't you?
Yeah. So I didn't have any polo shirts. I mean, I was still wearing Ranger jeans, Yeah. And I mean, it was torture for me. I fucking hated it. 2 years I was there.
Yeah.
And it was unbearable. And so finally, my sophomore year, my parents moved to Southwest Arlington, and I went to a new high school.
Yeah.
And I met Stephanie.
Yes.
My lovely wife and co-host. And then I love you, Steph.
I love you too, Matt.
And that was all the moving around as a child, and
Yeah.
It was it was how many schools? Let's see. We had Kirkland was preschool, and then Salem was like 2 years, and then Athens was a year, and then College Station.
I think we've determined before it was at least 5 or 6 different schools.
Yeah. I went. Well, yeah, I went at least 6, 7 different schools because I switched schools in between on some of those. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
How was your moving around childhood?
My moving around childhood, I mainly like stayed in Arlington, but we were always switching from neighborhood to neighborhood to neighborhood, so I didn't get to go to the same school for very long.
Yeah, there's 4 high schools in Arlington.
Yeah, and this was just an elementary school.
40 elementary schools.
Yeah, so I probably went to well, first I lived in Mansfield for a really short period of time. And actually, first I lived in Athens for a really short period of time. No, wait. First I lived in Iowa. I went to kindergarten in Iowa because I had some family there.
And she got rolled over by
my maternal grandmother lived there. And my poor cousin JP got hit by a car because of the ice and broke, I think it was one of his legs or one of his arms. I can't remember, but I remember having to run back in the ice, slipping and sliding everywhere so I could let his mom know, JP got hit by a car. So yeah, kindergarten was Iowa, first grade was Athens, second grade was Mansfield, and then third, fourth, fifth, and sixth grade, I did get to go to one elementary school. That was my longest stretch ever at one school.
So did you feel that you were like part of the school and everything? I mean,
not at first, but probably by the second year, I did feel like I was part of the school.
That's cool.
I made friends pretty fast, and I was really lucky. There's a girl that I'm still friends with, like on Facebook, and we've met up a couple of times over the years. A friend named Heather that just has like a really super outgoing personality. And I'm pretty outgoing too, but I'm kind of like goofy outgoing, and I can also be like really withdrawn if I don't know you very well. But if I know you, then I'm like super outgoing. And she's just super outgoing, period. And she likes to take the initiative on stuff. And I can actually remember her like asking me one day, like, hey, do you want to come sit with us at lunch? Or it was either that, or do you want to come hang out at my house after school or something like that?
She was real bold about it.
Yeah. And I was like, oh, cool. Somebody wants to hang out with me. And so, yeah, I started hanging out with her, and she had a couple of friends, and so me and her and our friend Angie, and we had a friend Kelly, and we had another friend Linda and another Angela, and just a big old group of girls that were already kind of hanging out with each other. And they invited me into their group, and
they made you a Veronica.
They made me a Veronica, and I was okay with being a Veronica. To the Heathers. Like literally there was one Heather, but she didn't really act like a Heather, just so you know.
I think for me, I had a similar in College Station because I was there for 4 years.
Yeah.
And actually, I went to 3 schools there. I went to my 4th grade was the last year of elementary, then 5th and 6th grade were the middle school, and then 7th grade was the junior high.
Yeah.
And sorry, I that's when I met more long-term friends, I guess.
Yeah. Felt a little more secure in your environment.
Yeah.
Like you actually had people to talk to and didn't feel so alone.
Yeah, I feel like I had
friends.
Yeah. And I was starting to meet girls too back then.
Yeah.
Kind of not quite understanding what was going on, but kind of understanding.
Yeah.
I got my first French kiss in
Ooh la la.
6th grade.
I was in 7th grade when I got my first French kiss.
Yeah, I didn't even know it was coming, dude. She was just all over it. I'm like, yes.
I knew it was coming, and we ran into the guy that was going to kiss my friend. We were at his house. We all ran into the bathroom and did mouthwash really quick. we're like, okay, if we're gonna do this,
we were there with another.
we like way over planned it. Okay, if we're gonna make out with each other.
we there was another couple with us, and they were supposed to go make out. They were supposed to make out too, but they didn't. They couldn't. They couldn't. I
They
guess get
chickened
to it.
out,
Yeah.
huh? Well,
But Monica,
but you went through with it.
Monica was all over me. I didn't have a choice, and it was
It's kind of
very
nice
cool.
when a woman takes the lead, isn't it?
It is. It is.
Yeah. So, anyways,
And then we went to a dance, a sports dance, and she was super handsy, like uncomfortably, because I didn't know, I had never been
Yeah.
with a girl that was handsy.
And she freaked you out a little bit.
And yeah, which is,
Did you break up with her because of it?
eventually, yeah.
Yeah.
It freaked me out a little bit, which is weird because you'd think the guy would,
Yeah.
oh yeah, let's go.
When you're super early into discovering things, sometimes it does.
Girls mature faster than boys.
Yeah,
she
but
was,
yeah.
But anyways, that was
yeah.
that was kind of an awkward moment.
Yeah. So, yeah, what was I talking about?
I don't know. Monica was super handsy though. I know that.
Please, Matt, tell us more about your childhood.
You were talking about your friendship with Heather and all those others.
Yeah. So, anyways, I had a pretty decent little group of friends, and we all kind of went to the same middle school together. And I went there for about a year and a half. And then I had like a major falling out. Well, I say falling out. My dad basically went to spank me with the belt and got out of control with it and left bruises all over me. And I called the police on him and ended up moving in with my mom. She lived with one of her boyfriends at the time. And so he had an extra room and I stayed there. This is over at Albert.
Albert? Oh my gosh.
And this is funny because this is right around the time that actually, you know what? No, this wasn't, because I didn't meet you until I was in 10th grade. So that was the second time that I left my dad's house.
Oh, okay.
And the first time I left my dad's house, we had some sort of falling out, and I moved in with my mom, and I ended up going to young middle school for like the rest of 8th grade.
Mm-hmm.
And then for 9th grade, I went back with my dad, and I went to Workman Middle School. And then the next year, I went to Martin, and that's where we met. And then after we had been together a couple of months, that's when I moved back out again into my mom's with her boyfriend, Albert. There was a lot of moving around.
And
a lot of it.
So Albert's house was fun. So I got to my 10 days of leave after boot camp happened to be this period of time, and we would go to sleep, and you could hear the rats pitter patter on the ceiling,
all over the ceiling.
Oh my gosh.
And
it was
in the wall.
Creepy. I mean,
and
I never crawled on you.
I'm glad that I was young and I had a nice solid bladder, because my biggest fear was having to get up in the middle of the night to go pee.
I would have turned every single light on.
Oh yeah, trust me. I was like, yeah.
Get away, rat.
I know.
Yeah, it was pretty creepy.
Yeah.
So
yeah, and there was a period of time in there at the beginning of 9th grade where I actually lived in Missouri for a little bit. Yeah, I lived in Missouri for the beginning of summer right before 9th grade, and then I just barely started part of 9th grade, and then I ended up my grandma couldn't really take care of me anymore, and my mom was having issues with one of her boyfriends, and I had been living with my grandmother. It's all over the place. Yeah, I had years of living with my mom. I had years of living with my dad. I had years of living with my maternal grandmother. When my dad had me growing up every other weekend, he actually usually took me over to my mama's house, and I spent about at least once a month, if not twice a month, spending a weekend over at her house. But
I bet that was fun. You talk well of your mama.
I do. It was fun. She had a spare room. It was like Papa's little TV room. So
Mm-hmm.
there was a TV in there, which
Oh,
is
nice.
it's a big deal when there's TV in a bedroom back in the 80s.
The
And
1980s.
yes, the 1980s, because not everybody had TVs in their bedrooms.
Yeah, that was
Yeah, and so Grandpa there was like a spare bedroom that was for guests, but it also had a little TV in a lazy boy, so Grandpa could go in there, Papa could go in there and watch TV. And me and my cousin Tina used to get in so much trouble because we would wait until everybody was asleep or we thought everybody was asleep and we'd like try to sneak the TV on. And every time either Mama or Papa would hear us and they'd come storming into the room. I told you not to turn on that TV. Do you want a whooping? And the funny thing is that as many times as I've got threatened to get a whooping from my Mama or Papa, they never once gave me a whooping.
That's awesome.
Now my dad, on the other hand, had no problem giving out the whoopings, but Mama and Papa would be like, "You're gonna get a whooping if you don't." Da da da. And then I remember one time being over at my cousin Tina's house, and her stepdad and she and I were sleeping in her bed, and we were probably like 10, 11 maybe, and we were in there talking and giggling and stuff. And her stepdad just stormed into that room and was like, "If I hear you one more time, Tina, you're getting the rod, child." And I was like, "Oh shit," right?
Yeah.
And so but we couldn't help it. We were like 11.
Yeah.
And so he left and we tried to stay quiet for a couple of minutes. And we were even like heads under the blanket and shit talking. And then we started giggling. I'm not kidding. He came in there, ripped the blankets off, yanked her up by the arm, and just started smacking the crap out of her. And I was just like in shock. He didn't do anything to me.
Yeah.
But I felt horrible for her that she got a spanking for laughing in bed.
So here you got one girl got a whooping because of you, and then your sister got stitches.
I know. I'm causing all kinds of problems. I'm so sorry. I don't know why I carry around this horrible luck with me.
I know. Oh gosh.
It's like my MO.
Let's not get started.
Yeah, no shit. That's another podcast.
So yeah, that was my experience moving around. I mean, it was not great because every time you had to start over, you had to meet new people, and it made me really outgoing for a while. I think now that I've been in the same place for a long time, I'm just I have my tribe, so
it's easier to just kind of go with the flow.
Yeah. But
I had that nice long little period of time between third grade and halfway through eighth grade where I got to be with the same group of people, and I loved it.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I loved it, and to this day, like we're still, we try to keep in contact with each other here and there. It's been a few years since we've seen each other. I actually have one girlfriend that actually takes the time to come out and say hi to me when she's passing through, and
Linda.
Yeah.
Hi, Linda.
Hi, Linda. I love you. So, yeah.
Yeah. Well, cool. Well, I think that's about wraps things up. Steph.
Yeah. I think so. As far as more detail on our childhood, I've got a later time that I'll tell you guys about the trauma that was and is my father. I have daddy issues. And not of my own making. Yeah. So, anyways, hey, you want to ask me a question?
No, you're supposed to ask me a question.
No, you asked me a question.
Hey, Stephanie.
Hey, Matthew.
Life will kill you.
You're supposed to be like,
guess what?
Guess what?
And then you go, what?
And then I go, what? And you say,
guess what?
What?
Guess what?
What?
Life will kill you?
Your memorization skills will kill me, that's for sure.
You keep saying the same thing.
I know, I say the same thing every time, and it was your turn. Just for funsies, I'm like, hey, let's switch it up. Go ahead, Matt, you say it this time.
Okay, I got you. And I said it. I just said it with
like,
question mark.
Guess what? I'm going to butcher this. Asking you the question. Guess what?
Guess what?
Guess what?
What?
Chicken butt. Hey, guess what?
What, Steph?
Life will kill you. And we'll laugh about it regardless. All right. Laugh a lot.
Bye-bye.
Bye.